This is the oldest temple unearthed anywhere on this planet.
Built almost 12,000 years ago. Could early humans have done this on their own? Or did they have help from beyond?
We've never before known or imagined even that simple hunter-gatherers could produce such spectacular monumental structures.
Göbekli Tepe itself was the end of a process, not the beginning of a process. It was something that marked, it was a marker.
In the dusty hill country of southeastern Turkey, near the city of Şanlıurfa, there is a buried hilltop so old, so deliberately concealed, and so far ahead of its time that the archaeologist who first understood what he was looking at said it flatly rewrote everything he thought he knew about the birth of civilization. They call it Göbekli Tepe, Potbelly Hill, and for 3 decades it has been quietly dismantling the assumption that religion, art, and organized society only began after humans learned to farm. Now, high-resolution 3D scans and computational pattern analysis are being pointed directly at its carved stone pillars, and the results being reported are the kind that even careful researchers admit are hard to fully explain. Share this with everyone you know, because Göbekli Tepe has spent 30 years proving that our ancestors were organizing complex belief systems thousands of years before anyone planted a single seed. Before we break down exactly what the pillars show, why the AI claims are more complicated than they sound, and what's actually still buried down there, make sure you subscribe to Vault of Discovery. We're giving you the real science that rewrites the textbooks. First, you have to understand the sheer scale of this thing. Göbekli Tepe isn't a scattering of old rocks. It's a deliberately engineered ceremonial complex, dated to roughly 11,600 years ago, predating the pyramids of Egypt by thousands of years. Massive T-shaped limestone pillars, some weighing as much as 50 tons, were quarried, shaped, transported, and erected into circular enclosures, without the wheel, without metal tools, without domesticated animals to help haul the stone. The pillars are covered in carved reliefs of foxes, boars, snakes, scorpions, and vultures, arranged with a precision that has puzzled archaeologists since excavation began in 1994 under German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt. Standing among those enclosures, you're looking at organized human labor and symbolic thought that predates farming, pottery, and writing by a wide margin. Think about what that means for the layout beneath your feet. Because Göbekli Tepe doesn't end at the enclosures that have already been uncovered. Only about 10% of the site has ever been excavated. The other 90% is still sitting under the same hillside, undisturbed, and researchers believe buried enclosures may date back as far as 15,000 BCE, potentially thousands of years older than what's already been documented. This is where the real mystery begins. But here's the first shocking twist. When researchers began running high-resolution 3D scans across the pillars, they found the carvings didn't just decorate the stone randomly. Recent analysis has identified that several enclosures follow strict geometric layouts, some arrangements forming near-perfect equilateral triangles across genuinely uneven terrain, a pattern that's difficult to explain as coincidental or purely decorative placement. Hunter-gatherers, with no writing system and no metal tools, appear to have been working from deliberate mathematical planning. That alone forces a serious rethink of what primitive actually meant 12,000 years ago. And then it got stranger, because of what the site reveals about how people actually lived there. The old theory held that Göbekli Tepe was purely ceremonial, a seasonal gathering site, visited by groups traveling up to 200 kilometers away, with no permanent population. Recent excavation seasons have complicated that completely. Archaeologists have uncovered grinding mills, flint sickles, plant residues, and structures resembling actual domestic living quarters, suggesting some people didn't just visit this hilltop for rituals. They lived there. If that holds up, the standard order everyone was taught in school, agriculture first, religion and monuments later, may run backwards from what actually happened here. Then came the second devastating revelation, the one tangled up in genuine academic dispute. A real named researcher, Dr. Martin Sweatman, an engineer at the University of Edinburgh, published papers in 2017 and again in 2024 arguing that Pillar 43, nicknamed the Vulture Stone, encodes a specific date, around 10,950 BCE, by reading the animal carvings as symbolic constellations. His actual method is statistical pattern analysis and astronomical software modeling, not machine learning, not neural networks. He's counting symbols and running probability calculations, the same category of tool statisticians have used for decades. His interpretation is genuinely contested inside the field. The German Archaeological Institute team that actually excavates the site published a direct rebuttal titled "More Than a Vulture," disputing his reading of the pillar entirely. Now, this is where the wild stories always take over. Claims that neural networks decoded a hidden lunar calendar, that machine learning uncovered proto-writing predating Sumerian cuneiform by 6,000 years, that deep learning systems detected buried chambers full of perfectly preserved artifacts. And it's worth being honest here. None of that is backed by any peer-reviewed excavation report. A detailed investigation into these claims found that no credible archaeological source connects Göbekli Tepe to artificial intelligence or computational decoding at all. The site predates writing by roughly 5,000 years and predates computing by more than 11,000. Somewhere between Sweatman's contested statistical papers and viral video summaries, statistical analysis quietly became AI analysis, and from there it escalated into claims no actual research supports. But here's the chilling part. You don't need an invented AI conspiracy for this site to be unsettling. The real verified truth is strange enough on its own, because the third twist changes everything about how deliberate this place really was. The builders of Göbekli Tepe didn't just construct these enclosures. At some point, they intentionally buried them, backfilling entire chambers with rubble and sediment, sealing their own monument under the earth for reasons nobody has definitively explained. Whether that burial was ritual closure, protective preservation, or something else entirely, remains genuinely unresolved. And there's a real mystery buried in the ongoing fieldwork too. The site recently produced its most significant new finds in over a decade, including a human statue and calendar-related carvings still undergoing formal analysis by the excavation team. Discoveries serious enough to anchor a major international exhibition, Myths in Stone, Göbekli Tepe and the World of the Last Hunters, which opened at Berlin's James Simon Gallery in February 2026 and runs through July 31st, 2026, featuring 96 artifacts from the Schindlerfe Museum. A previous staging of that exhibition at Rome's Colosseum drew more than 6 million visitors. That hunger for answers is exactly what's being exploited by the manufactured AI decoded it, framing spreading online. As one investigation into the phenomenon points out, humans are extraordinarily effective pattern recognition machines, an ability that kept our species alive for hundreds of thousands of years, but one that also produces a very specific kind of error, finding structure and meaning where none exists. Especially during periods of collective anxiety about what machines are now capable of. That doesn't mean nothing real is happening in the data. It means the real findings, geometric planning, permanent habitation, a genuinely contested statistical reading of one pillar, are being buried under invented claims of comet warnings and secret star maps that no excavation team has ever confirmed. One thing is absolutely certain: Göbekli Tepe remains one of the most disruptive archaeological discoveries ever documented. Its pillars show mathematical planning that predates writing by thousands of years. Its living quarters suggest permanent habitation before agriculture existed at all. Its most sacred pillar is the subject of a real, unresolved scientific dispute between one engineer and the archaeologists who actually dig there. And 90% of the site remains completely unexcavated, buried under the same Turkish hillside that has already rewritten the timeline of civilization once. And the hill is far from finished giving up its secrets. Enclosures still lie unexcavated beneath layers of sediment the builders themselves placed there deliberately. And every new season of digging risks finding something that forces another rewrite of when and why organized human society actually began. When archaeologists finally reach the deepest, oldest layers still buried beneath Potbelly Hill, the story of civilization's true starting point may have to be told all over again. Stay tuned.